Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm reviewing Invincible Season 3 episodes 4 and 6, and boy has it been interesting thus far. I honestly don't understand why this season has gotten so much hate for its animation. No, I do not believe it's on par with Season 1 of the show, but it's not too far off. You guys are acting like this show turned into 7 Deadly Sins. The animations are still pretty decent, but the strongest aspect of this show will always and forever be the writing. The storylines are just so unique and well done that people will tune in even if everything else sucks. I've been enjoying the fights thus far, which is enough for me. On episode 4, we get to see some of the issues that Rex and Ray face along with other superheroes. After leaving the GDA, they now live kinda normal lives. The GDA supplied them with everything they needed, so normal things like going grocery shopping is foreign territory to them. However, even in the midst of shopping, their trip was interrupted by an attack that needed to be dealt with. So much for a normal life, right? And speaking of normal, look at Eve and Mark on a lovely date, and in the middle of their evening, Mark is kidnapped by the two boys who stole the Declaration of Independence to find out there was a multiverse version of Immortal that's an evil king who has been waiting for Mark to come back and end his suffering. We get to see the downside of having immortality, especially while not being happy because he descended into madness over time ever since Mark left him to be king. He asked Mark to end his suffering, but Mark is too kind-hearted and would never do such a thing until he starts beating the living shit out of Mark. He finally has enough and decides to decapitate him, which was actually quite insane, and frees the people of the land from tyranny. Woo! What a hero he is. Lastly, Alan the Conqueror saves Nolan from execution, and when I tell you I started freaking screaming. These end credit scenes put Marvel to shame because this literally changed my entire mood for this whole episode. It went from a cool 6 to a freaking 10, and then we got Battle Beast to return. Oh my goodness. I literally cried my eyes out. And now we see why Nolan stayed away from this monster after seeing him beat the dog shit out of Mark in season 1, because this dude is insanely different. I should probably do a review on him. That's coming. Now let's talk about episode 5, which was a cool 7 out of 10 for me. It did its job because the world building was wonderful. We get to see Titan again handle the Order with his high level IQ after they were threatening to end his family. And the memes that flooded my timeline of Machine Head had me so weak. I forgot how funny this dude is. Then we get some lore on Duplicate and Dupla brother. Alright, Dupla Paul, okay, I get it. And boy was their upbringing sad as hell. I see why that boy took a turn for the worse, and after that scene where he duplicates himself until his copy self-implode in his jail cell was actually disgusting. Like, you are not normal. And bro did all that just to be caught up again and thrown back in. But the funniest part of this episode had to be Oliver pantsing his bullies, and I just want to know why these dudes thought it would be a good idea to bully a kid whose skin is purple/pink, knowing damn well there's super beings in this world. Like, he wasn't even blending in as a civilian. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I would know damn well not to mess with anybody who is the color purple. Now on to episode 6. When I tell you Powerplex is one of the greatest haters I've ever seen, I truly mean that. So the day Mark got his ass whooped by Nolan, one of the buildings that fell to the ground in their battle had his sister and niece counted amongst the casualties at the end of the tragedy. He saw all of this happening and knows that Mark was also a victim along with the other citizens that died, but instead of directing his anger towards Omni-Man, he directs it towards Mark, which makes no sense. He then gains a super suit that works on the premise that the more he is attacked, the more electric output he has. He gets help from his wife because she too lost family. He takes out that scrub Martian guy from the Guardians of the Globe, which helps him have enough output to almost take out Mark. And Eve, with her position at that government agency, gets a notification that a lady and her kid are being held ransom by Superplex, and Mark goes exactly to the location. Superplex waits no time and fights Mark in the living room of his own home and is self-destructing, knowing Mark will do everything in his power to stop him. And with the power of love, Mark's hug stops him from offing himself. However, in the pursuit of justice, this dude fries the only family he has left into straight ashes. When I tell you this scene was actually so insane and literally left me in shock. Like, you did all of this and didn't even end up getting your revenge. But to cap off such a great episode, we get to see the biggest hater arrive as Levi Angstrom is back to terrorize Mark by bringing all the Marks from the multiverse for an all-out war. He takes being a hater to new heights, and I gotta respect it. At least he's consistent. I know people were talking a lot about this animation, but I'm gonna hold my judgment until this week's episode because I need them to not cut corners. Because some of the multiverse Marks were looking a little funny with the small glimpse that we got. But it's okay.